Okay, and welcome to Wrestling, and it has been so long, guys, and we have a ton of stuff to talk about that we haven't covered. This is Wrestling and, well, everything, because it's been a while, like I said, so let's get right into it, guys, and getting into it here with us is my amazing co-host, Justin, at In-Ring Art. Justin, the awesome artist. Justin, how are you?
Doing all right. Been busy, but the kids are officially kind of out of school now, so hopefully things will...
Doing sports right now?
Excuse me. Well, actually, Kenzo just finished baseball this weekend, or this week, last week.
Just finished.
Yeah, just finished.
They do. It's funny, the kids do little tiny schedules, you know? They'll do, like when I umpired baseball, their season is very short. I mean, a lot of... Even the kids that play a lot, like their season ends in July, August.
So we had, it was about 10 games this season.
Okay.
And they were...
Is this child pitch or coach pitch?
It was minors, so they were getting pitchers. They had...
Did he have any good plays
Kenzo,
this year?
His team got to the championship game.
Oh, hell yeah.
We lost 8-0, but that's okay. In the championship game.
Well, the championship team's probably pretty unstoppable.
Pretty good, and they had a pitcher that threw really hard, and we were trying to get him ready for it, but it was tough. And Kenzo was the catcher.
Now, the team you guys played against, how do I say this without getting too detailed? Were they an English-speaking team?
Yeah, I mean, so we were as much as we are, as much as our team was.
No, well, when I did I did like one of the Little League World Series. It's not the Little League World Series, it's the Triple Crown World Series. You know?
Yeah.
And when I got to the finals, now, of course, these kids are older than Kenzo, and also, this is like it's competitive. The parents have to pay thousands of dollars for their kids to, but 9-10-year-olds. And the final game was like Southern California versus Miami, and no one spoke English. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
It just depends on the area of Southern California and the area of Miami, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought it was kind of hilarious that like the two Spanish-speaking teams ended up being the two championship teams. They have
good baseball players, so that's not a surprise.
They have good baseball players. Yep, I remember they were the Tomatillos were the Southern California
team that he was ESL. But he's also goes to Kenzo school, and he actually got a lot better as the season went on, and that was kind of cool that he was he was catching on pretty good. And
how's your boy's bat? Does he have a good bat?
He was hitting second,
and not his quality of his bat, his bat. You know what I mean?
No, it was good. He hit second on the team usually. And
ooh, that's damn,
I can
dude.
Try and send you a clip. Well, I was the coach. The coach, so.
Oh, okay. Because you were an all-star baseball player.
Okay. No, not really. That's not.
Damn, he's batting second. Well, of course, you're going to put your own kid in the two spot,
have to
right?
Play favorites. No, that wasn't. I wouldn't. If he was not good, he would. He would be down. But
well, you can send me that over. Send me that on Messenger because no one listening to this is going to be able to see it.
Yeah,
right
I know.
Now. So. You can send me that over Messenger.
I couldn't really record. It was a game where there was a forfeit, so it was a little more casual. So we were just.
Why was there a forfeit?
Because the other team didn't have enough players. So you'll notice that when he hits the ball, that there's some kids on his own team that are going after it. So I was able to record when I was coaching first. So.
I've umpired many a game like that before. I've umpired games that just didn't even happen. And I still got paid. That's the nice thing about umpiring. If the game doesn't happen, you still get money.
That's cool.
So you're praying for rain on some days. You know what I mean? When you're really tired, you're just like. So I was wondering, did you see the new Jacksonville Stadium thing going on?
I did hear about them unveiling something, and I saw like briefly some of the renderings, and it looked a lot like kind of the SoFi out here.
It looks like a giant metal spaceship. But I don't know if it's going to be, it must be metal because you can't make a huge plastic piece that big. But it kind of, it looks, I guess it's what they're calling a refit.
Yeah. I mean,
so they're going to build on top of the stadium.
Oh, so isn't the stadium they currently play in not that old?
I don't know that. I mean, Jacksonville's been around a while.
Well, they have,
I mean,
but I don't think they
came out with the Panthers in the 90s.
I don't think they're playing in the original stadium that the team when they were expansion team in like what was it 95. I don't
like
think
that.
they're
And I could
playing
look it up. I'm
I'll
not
look it up.
motivated,
Just
but
curious because if it is like a whole remodeling.
Yeah, well, and I was interested in Daly's Place, right? Yeah. And it looks like from the video, it looks like Daly's Place will also receive some modifications, but it will still be right there and, you know, have its little spot to the ocean side of the stadium. But, you know, the video looked good. The video is for Jacksonville people because it's like creating new jobs,
sure,
you know,
and it does that.
And they show little previews. They show little previews of the Gators playing Georgia in the stadium. Well, here you go. And
just to give you the history of the stadium that they play now, it was built in '94, and it was built in '95. That's when it opened, and then they renovated it in 2003 and 14 and 16. So they've had some recent renovations to it. But it is still the original stadium.
Okay. Well, this one is definitely, I think you would classify it as a little more than a renovation.
Yeah.
It's a total overhaul.
Right.
Right. Just, I'm interested because of wrestling. And, you know, I was really interested in the Daly's Place. I'll send you the video later, but it's, you can see the Daly's Place. And it looks like they're going to be redoing the top of Daly's Place, the, I guess, roof. But one of the interesting things, they said the material they use will like make the heat bearable inside the stadium.
So that's where I was thinking it was kind of like SoFi, where it's like this indoor, outdoor-ish type of. I mean, SoFi it's a beautiful stadium. I have my issues with it, but when you're in it, it's like it's a very unique feeling because you're like indoors.
Does it feel futuristic at all
does.
In the sense
it almost
of
feels like you're in a space station or something because you're inside and you look up and there's like, you know, a clear ceiling with like kind of railing, you know, rafter kind of metal bars or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you look out and you see the outside, so it's like you can get the breezes in there and stuff like that. So I think there is a way to climate control that, but I don't know, if you're a team like the Jaguars, usually you want that humidity is like part of your home field advantage.
Well, I'm sure there'll still be humidity, but I suppose the heat factor and I mean, yeah. You know, the Broncos Stadium actually makes you feel like you're not at a mile high. No, I don't think it does that at all. So yeah,
they have that one row of seats that's a different color, right? And that's supposed to signify.
Oh, that's the mile.
Yeah.
That's the mile.
I think the Rockies have that too. They put like a different color for one row where it's like a mile high, exactly, or something. Just a quick thing, you know, Colorado Springs is actually much higher than Denver. So I just want to let people know that. More than a mile high.
We are
city.
Above a mile high. Yeah.
Good for you guys.
So that's kind of interesting because Daly's Place is there, like I said. Now a lot of us have a lot of trauma from Daly's Place, but they haven't been there in a while, and it's a very important part of AEW history.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
I'll just
come to
put
think
it
of it, you know, I'm surprised they haven't had to try to do a stadium show in that stadium yet.
Well, yeah. I mean, yes, right now would not be a great time for that, but they're about to have a stadium show.
But if that gets renovated, I'm sure the goal is to host Super Bowls and all that.
Oh yeah. Well, no, they were saying the huge college games. They're going to do the World Cup there, right?
No, just kidding.
So, dude, you know, in 5 or 6 years, I think that WrestleMania has already talked about doing Nashville Stadium before the NFL plays in it.
I think that is not Nashville. I think they have that book because I know they did Nashville for, was it Memphis or Nashville that they did SummerSlam last year?
It was SummerSlam, but no, they're going to have a new football stadium, and I believe
they're going to do it there.
Yeah, for the Titans, and they already have it down that they are going to do WrestleMania before the season starts. So they will be the first huge, show at that stadium, which is pretty cool.
That makes sense.
So I think that's 2 years from now. We got Philadelphia next year, and then
do you think the
Nashville
Cons would host WrestleMania in their stadium?
Fuck no, dude. You kidding me?
That's what I was saying.
That's a lot of money, though. That's a lot of money.
But I wonder if
the
stadium is not. Do they own the stadium?
They do Tampa Bay. They do Tampa Bay.
Right.
Do they own the stadium too? I have no clue. As long as the people or the taxpayers aren't paying for it, I don't care. Like, that's like one of the fucked up. You know when like they just have the taxpayers pay for this. That's dirty, bro.
Moved over that. So, yeah.
Damn.
But they do use the whole thing of it's going to revitalize this area. It means jobs. It means.
Will it make more money than it costs? And usually it probably does eventually.
Well, I know you went there, but Crypto.com Arena.
Mm-hmm. Staples Center,
formerly known as. That was built in 99, okay? To be honest with you, there was very few reasons to ever go to that area before that was built.
That area, what was there before
downtown?
That?
Well, the convention center was there, so you go there maybe once or twice a year for like the auto show or whatever. But E3. But it was just a bad area. It was kind of like a lot of homeless, kind of Skid Rowy. But they came in and they.
Yeah, I remember old E3 a lot of because I've been watching E3 since the 90s, and I remember old E3s pre crypto. They would talk about like the shady area,
right?
And I remember people talking about like getting hotels or getting like places right next to the convention center being like not the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, so along with you saw Crypto.com being built, they built a lot of businesses, restaurants, and all of a sudden all these lofts started going up in apartments, and it became kind of a cool place to live. And that all started.
Well, I went there and I thought the area was really cool. There's still some remnants of that, There's still your shitty little gas station that's probably been there for 30 years and stuff like that. But for the most part, the area was cool. I really wish we could have explored the convention center.
Right.
I know it's probably huger than anyone could imagine.
We tried.
But
it was just too big of a line.
We tried, but the line, that would have taken us hours and hours.
And plus, most of the stuff was gone by that time because people would be picking through it all week.
Yeah. Speaking of all that, dude, you might need to tell me next time you go to is it Japantown or Little Tokyo? The one that's the one with all the anime stuff.
Was Little Tokyo.
You might need to tell me next time you go there because I've been pricing more figurines and I might have to have you ship me some.
That's cool, yeah.
Eventually, bro. Okay, because those figurines are like $100 to $200 online,
and they're like $25 there.
They're $16.
Wow.
Ridiculous. That's on a side note. But the next thing I want to move on to from Jacksonville is
if I pick it up
the
for
disaster.
$16, I won't charge you $50, so that's a good deal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And you'll make a little yourself. Hell yeah, we'll do it. The next thing I wanted to talk about is one of the low points and high points of this show's history. And this is something we have to verbally talk about because we don't have evidence or proof that it actually happened. But we did an interview with Aaron Henare.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Too.
It did happen. So the quick story, guys, is that Justin and I never record with three people ever. That's where we'll start with. And there were recording issues from the get-go because of me. But after this, I knew that I could patch together something good, and the file got erased. I'm not going to go into it. I tried recovering it, but just real quick, man, it was a awesome. We had a great talk with him.
Oh yeah, definitely, and definitely a cool guy, and just willing to talk with anyone, including us, that have only 50,000 listeners each episode.
Yeah, and I mean, he talked about some cool stuff. He said that he invented that triple triad match, that the concept of it, that he did. That was his idea to have with I'm blanking here, with Takagi Shingo. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool. We talked about his book, which was really cool. We talked about, you know, he wrote this book which has ideas of masculinity, but what we talk about is it's a far cry from Andrew Tate and that sort of stuff. It's a lot more about self-improvement in intellectually and physically. And yeah, a cool book, and just a super down-to-earth guy. Right now.
Something wrong.
You can't hear me?
Hold on.
Okay.
There we go.
It's
going to be okay in a second. Can you hear me now?
Hang on.
I
can hear you. Can you hear me?
It's just a little staticky. I don't know if that's me or you.
No, something weird's going on. Let's just pause for a second. I'll edit this out. I'll be right back. Okay, something's weird.
That's better.
Weird is
that's
going
better.
On. That's working? Okay, let's get back into it. But yeah, he was a really down to earth guy, very chill, and it was a pleasure talking to him, man. I mean, what else can we say? I mean, he said a lot of cool stuff. I don't remember it all, but for a big wrestler, you know, this guy in New Japan who's making his career on the up and up to come and talk to us, it was awesome.
I like the whole thing about how he was pretty much the last guy to get into the dojo as a foreigner in the traditional Japanese way.
To just do tryouts. And he was not, I guess you could say, internationally handpicked. He was he was given a bit of a favor from and he went, and God, that he was explaining the process, and geez, they were saying like squats after squats after squats, and then this, you know, more of a mental thing and physical, but really they break you mentally before you can even get in.
They break you like that physically and mentally, and then they're like, okay, so what makes you stand out? And that's where he said he did the haka.
Yeah, there you go. He did haka. And do you remember what he said that Watto did? He did the martial arts, like display. You know, the one person's martial arts exhibition kind of thing.
Right.
So, and I think that says a lot too from a lot of the stuff we're seeing now from Watto. We'll get into that in a bit.
I think most of the foreign guys, like, you know, Oleg Boltin and you know.
It's Oleg Boltin, and there's another guy. I can't remember his
German
name,
guy, and there's like the Russian guy or whatever. But they're like handpicked to come in. And
I think they were kind of handpicked. Yeah.
They don't just say, "Okay, Oleg, come show up one day, and we'll see what you got." It's like, no, we've seen him. We're going to put him in the dojo. But he had to like go out there and, you know,
he had to prove from the get-go that he's not a normal person, that he is New Japan strong, if you will.
You know, having a conversation with him, I didn't really feel like we were interviewing him. I just felt like we were just kind of having a talk with him, which was cool.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we were just kind of BSing and just a fun guy. So I just want to let you guys know that if you're a kind of a fan of Henare or you think he's okay, I'll tell you, this guy is just so cool. And that goes a lot. You know, you can be and I think Henare is a good wrestler, but you can be an okay wrestler, and, you know, just connecting with fans like that, it does a lot in the long run. I'll just put it that way. So thank you, Aaron Henare. We appreciate that, even though, and watch, Justin, I'll find the episode a year later, like in some folder.
Yeah. Don't give up hope.
But by then he will have won the G1 already, so we can throw that out as a tribute. Yeah. So
before exactly.
Yeah. Next, I wanted to talk about, it's been a while, guys, so we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff that's happened over the past little bit, and just stuff that I thought was awesome. And I think Justin will agree. I wanted to talk to you about Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné. This happened, like 3 weeks, a month ago or something like that. Did you see the match or any of those matches?
I did not see really any of that show. But
well, it was not well produced. I will say that.
Well, that's a shock.
There was no. Yeah, I know. There was no in-ring sound, barely. Like, which, like when the ref would count to, you couldn't hear it at all.
See, now, I wasn't at... Okay, so I went to the... So, I don't know what's up with these stateside Japanese productions and why they can't get it right,
dude. The old ones were good.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. We were at the I drew that picture today. I was at that 2017 G1 special, right, at Long Beach in the convention center, basically. And the whole thing with that was they were trying to make it feel like it was an authentic show going to Japan, right?
Yeah, I remember that. That was the whole idea, right? Like they had Abe-san and they had Japanese refs and they had the rings, everything was very authentic.
The ring was from Japan, I think, and like the set, it was all supposed to be.
The ring was not. Well, from Japan,
the whole idea was all the aprons and all that stuff, right?
Everything looked the same. They had the ads and the sponsors on the ring, and
the stands was laid out like when you'd go to one of those convention halls, right? Where there's no rows.
Yeah.
So it was like a tour 2 or whatever, road 2 show, the way they did it. Mm-hmm. The bells, everything. Even the TV production was very like you were watching something in Japan. If I remember correctly, I did watch the broadcast because they weren't a pay-per-view like they are now.
Yeah, that's a whole other issue.
And
yes.
It was, I just don't know. It seems like every time they have one of these shows, the strong shows were usually pretty good in terms of production, but it's whenever they have these special pay-per-views, whether it's the Capital Collision or the blah, blah, those kind of things.
Resurgence or...
even... Okay, so the Resurgence that was here, I don't remember... When I was there, I do remember some type of issues they were having, but I don't know if those made that onto the broadcast or not.
No one brings this up, but people, don't forget they had a show in New York City.
Yeah.
And they forgot to get an ambulance, and the show was like an hour and a half late. That's something people seem to forget too.
Right.
That happened.
I heard that was something where they got ratted on by a competitor or something.
Yeah.
Either way, you should have it.
Of course. Right. That shouldn't be the deal.
You should have an ambulance.
That shouldn't affect that. You don't get ratted out, and so the ambulance doesn't come. But yeah, there are issues, and Justin, I am one of the people who believes that wrestling pay-per-views are important still, and that we should pay. But when I talk about AEW and some Stardom shows, but the idea that they were giving you something, the idea that I can watch Dominion, one of the biggest shows of the year, for my normal price, and then there's a lesser show that I'm not that interested in watching, and they're charging me $30 or $40 for it. That's a little weird.
Well, that's what I'm worried about, is they're going to start charging for Dominion and the G1 and Wrestle Kingdom in the future. That'd be bad.
I think they know how many people watch that shit. And really it's for Japanese people. And that's the thing we got to remember too. A lot of this American stuff, it feels weird from the American side, but as a Japanese person, you're paying extra to watch this American, I guess, wrestling. I guess.
There's no way they can physically go to the show unless they travel here, I guess, but
yeah.
I think a lot of that is...
It's weird.
Yeah, I think it's just more profitable if they have a contract with like Fight TV or whatever, and they set it up that way. I guess it helps cut down on the travel expenses. I mean, we know that New Japan, has been talking about how they've been struggling financially for the last few years because of, the pandemic and having...
Yeah, well, they got Mercedes Moné.
Well, that was an investment, I guess, that they were hoping was going to make them some money.
They're also, Moxley just got his worker visa again.
And he's allegedly a resident now. That's what he was saying.
I think, well, yes, okay, yes, but if you read the translation, it says like worker visa.
Right.
I got my worker visa.
Right, but
so I think that might mean just you can stay there for like 6 months.
Yeah, so he got that, but I think they are making investments in certain directions for sure. But no, they were tight for a while.
And there's something we're going to get into also is that there's so many young people that are not making as much money as the older guys, but there's a huge push for young guys too, which is saving money for now.
You see that,
and we're going to get into that.
But also,
we're going to get into.
I'll just put it this way: I know what do we pay, like $7 a month, $8 a month for New Japan World?
Yeah,
I'd happily pay $9.99 or $10, $12.
I'd pay $15 probably for New Japan World,
pay-per-views, and that would be guaranteed because I feel like I consume.
all the pay-per-views.
So,
yeah.
If they wanted to do that, I'd rather have them do that and then nickel and dime us with $20 here and there with 30, 40, whatever it is for those, US pay-per-views or all together or stuff like that.
Well, even though that is an issue, we still know ways of watching these matches, just in all honesty, even though we love New Japan. And the Willow versus Mercedes, I wanted to get into. So you know the ending of the match,
she broke
right?
Her ankle, right?
Yeah, supposedly. I mean, that seems to be the idea. She pretty much jumped from the top of the post all the way to the floor and had a bad landing. And this whole situation, to me, is pretty crazy because, first of all, Willow is awesome. I've seen her live multiple times. She's just great. Great. And you can't help but, love her. She's so, in all her interviews. And for Mercedes to actually switch the result at the end there, I thought that was pretty awesome. I thought that was like a classic, just professionalism. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, she just as easily could have done a, Steve Austin, Owen Hart thing where it's, I got to roll up and get out of there.
There's so much she could have, and she could have just called the match off on some kind of, ref stoppage or all sorts of stuff. And the fact that, now there was a huge botch because the ref was not on the same page. So the ref, counted 3 and then said Mercedes kicked out. So that was bad. That looked terrible. I mean, you never see that in New Japan, rarely. Yeah. But
the
finish,
any of those TVs,
or in that's like your shittiest indie. You're gonna see that.
Well, the difference is you don't have to move a headset telling the ref she's hurt. Have her do a roll up.
That's true. Huge difference between some of the bigger groups. Also, I want to add they have a women ref in New Japan now. So for America, which is awesome. Also, just thought I'd add that. But here's the thing: the Willow versus Mercedes. I'm so happy for Willow. Tony Khan's been taking advantage of it. She's been defending that thing like every week, which is pretty great. But I'm going to tell you, man, the matches before this match were fucking awesome, dude. And what I mean by that is the Willow versus Momokoge and Mercedes versus Stephanie Vaquer. You've got to see this Stephanie Vaquer chick, dude. She is so good. She's South American, okay? So she wrestles in Mexico, but she calls Amazonian. She calls herself Amazon, but she's from South America. She's amazing. She looks great, and I can't say enough great stuff about her. She reminds me of Yu Suzu, a young wrestler from Stardom, who just you see her wrestle and you're just like, whoa, I hate to say this, but this is going to sound bad, but they're almost so good that it almost looks like they're a man wrestling in their body. I hate to say that, but the intensity, and the explosiveness. Stephanie Vaquer, like Vaquer. Yeah. I want to look her up too, actually, again.
Chilean.
And I don't even know what is she?
Chile.
She's from Chile. Chile, yeah. So she's from San Antonio, Chile, which I didn't know there was a San Antonio, Chile. But Yeah, keep your eye on her, guys, because she's awesome, and I can't say enough good stuff about them. So if you guys haven't seen that, go check that out. Check out those Momokoge versus Willow and Mercedes versus Stephanie Vicaire. So going on from here, I want to ask you about, we're going to talk about a forbidden subject. No, it's not Joey Ryan. We're going to talk about CM Punk for a little bit, okay?
Yeah, it's worth it.
What does your uncle think about CM Punk?
I think we've said it multiple times.
Well, tell the fans.
The worst champion in the history of WWF, WWE.
How about AEW? Does he?
I mean, I guess that would automatically give him the same title for that.
Collision is coming up pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, it's Saturday, isn't it?
Are you going to watch night one?
Night one? Oh, you mean the first night? Maybe.
Yeah.
It is my birthday Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, is it this? Hang on. Is AEW okay? It is this Saturday.
Yeah, it is 17th. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will say the United Center they got most of the tickets out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it looks like they've got about 7,000 tickets out, and there's about 2,000 left. I thought the United Center was a 20,000 seater arena, but they must.
I got to think they limit it. United Center, or is it at
United? No, it's at the United Center.
Well, for basketball, it seats 23,000, so it's probably about 25 for boxing or wrestling.
Well, they're holding it at 9,000, and it looks like a lot of the upper bowls are filled in. So, who knows, dude? You know what they probably do is behind the entrance, that whole area is shut
that's
off.
true, but that's not half the arena. That's probably about 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah, I mean, you were at Crypto.com for that, so anything above the Titantron and
there was not a ton of people at that show.
But about fourth of the arena is closed off right away, right?
Kill that boy.
And the whole upper bowl was shut down for the NXT show.
You seen anything about NXT lately? Do you know anything going on?
Other than maybe little tidbits, but other than I know that
Tiffany Stratton is champion now.
Yeah, nothing impressed me about her when we went. It's just very average.
Well, she's like the hottest one.
Yeah, but I mean you're supposed to be, so I guess that's the way it is. So there's nothing that stands out.
It's kind of funny because right? Stands out on my Instagram feed,
right? But I mean, all of them have that type of aestheticness to them, right? So that doesn't really check a box for me these days. But
we'll see. But we'll give her
Braun Breaker's
some
a heel
time
now, right? Right after his dad's ugliness.
Yeah, I mean Braun Breaker and it's kind of sad because they've got this thing where they send main roster down to NXT to pop a rating, but the people is like, okay, Uhaa Nation or what? Uhaa Nation? What's his name? Apollo Crews. He was pretty good, right? But fine. Like. All right, dude, I hate Baron Corbin, okay? I'm just going to say it.
Point, I guess.
I've been watching him since he debuted. And you see these posts, he's loved backstage. That's fine. I'm sure he's a nice guy, But his character sucks. He doesn't even have a character. He changes characters every fucking couple months, dude.
The best thing he was doing
Happy Corbin.
He was the down and out guy with the hair grown out and the stain on his shirt. That was the best stuff.
Think he just should have stayed as that?
At least longer.
But then he became Happy Corbin, and then this, and that. Now, we'll say he has a badass tattoo on his chest, but I think that's hidden most of the time.
He's a guy that, he does have that physical stature. He's huge. He's like, what, 6'7"? He's gigantic.
Yeah, but, I mean, he's also kind of got... This is coming from a fat man, by the way. You guys got to understand, we're wrestling fans. We criticize people that we are nowhere near as talented as. So, but I'm going to say this. He's got the skinny fat thing going on, kind of.
I think, I'll just put it this way. The best thing he was doing the whole time he's been in that company was when he was the down and out guy with his hair grown out and the beard.
Well, you talk about, Tiffany Stratton checking boxes. I mean, what does Baron Corbin check?
Just
what boxes does he check? He doesn't have good matches. He's not charismatic.
Just the heat.
I don't even think that's the case, bro.
Well, people hate him, so that's something. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of him
I don't know about that.
This is not a guy who they're making the champ or anything.
Well, that's my point. Is that now he's in NXT challenging Carmella?
Oh, right.
This is not a good.
Just something to build him up.
Challenge.
Well, to me, it makes it sound like they don't have any heels. They feel like they can put him there right away because he already beat Braun Breaker right away. So they wasted that one.
Yeah. And Wesley is champion on the, and Wesley's probably one of the best wrestlers.
Not a heel though, is he?
Yeah. No, I think he's a face,
right.
And he's got the. But I don't know. There's a lot of up and comers there. We saw Axiom; he was pretty great. And then I've heard that Dragunov versus.
Yeah, I heard that was a really good match that they.
Dijak. Right. Yeah, I heard they fucked each other up.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we were talking about it. Just shows how much we don't want to talk about Punk. We just changed the subject. But AEW Collision and Punk. I don't think this. Look, the first time's always the biggest. The second time is not nearly as big. And while Punk was on TV, he was pulling like a 950,000 rating, 950,000 won, which is good, right? That's great for them. I don't think Saturday Night TV is going to pull anything close to that, dude.
Well, we said from the get-go when this all started, it behooves both parties to get him back on the show and in that company, just because,
it's money.
He still has an audience. They're doing it in Chicago, so they're very smart about it. They're not going to put him in any other town where it might go awry.
It's at the point where it's like, I don't know if I want to be around the fucking CM Punk fans, but look.
Well, those people are just loyal. They're, it's just one of those things where you're going to like the Chicago Cubs no matter how bad or good they are. You're a loyal fan. So it's just they have that kind of attachment to them.
Yeah, I don't have that with any wrestler, dude. If a wrestler, I don't know. I don't know the guy personally. We've said this many times. I thought he was a dick since I first heard about him in 2009 and listened to his podcast with his friend who he sued or got sued. I don't know. It was a little ways
that. I just remember my first impressions of him being that 06, 07 and was doing that. What was it called? The Straight Edge Society? Is that what it was called?
Yeah. With Fester?
Right, Festivus or whatever his name was.
Festivus.
For the rest of us.
Festivus, yeah, Festus. And the bald chick, was that Molly Holly?
Serena Deeb, wasn't it?
Serena Deeb, right. Yeah, with the breast implants.
So that was, I would, doing my channel surfing, and I saw him, and I felt he had a charisma. And he just seemed different and unique, and was like, oh, that CM Punk guy seems pretty cool.
Well, at the time,
that was my impression.
And he was novel too. He was novel at the time.
Yeah. It's like, and then just kind of
now
checking in here and then and seeing his stuff with the money, kind of anti-authority kind of thing, and really good on the mic. But I wasn't really into it. But I always like, oh, CM Punk guy's pretty cool. It comes out to the, Living Color song and everything like that. But
well, the song is great. Yeah, back then, man, and I could see it back then. If you're watching him on WWE, like, no, this is actually kind of.
And cool. Right when we were getting back in, is when he left. That's how I was. So.
Yeah, right when we were getting back in was like when the podcast started coming out, and a year or two after. And, we started finding out all this shit.
Right, because I started getting back into it around Royal Rumble 2014, right? So that's where I'm like, oh, and then, kind of hearing about this CM Punk thing and seeing old stuff and being like, oh man, this guy would be really cool to come back. And is he going to come back? But then he did the podcast, which, what were your initial thoughts on it? Were you?
Well, I didn't listen to it because I didn't care about him, but all the stuff I heard was just like, I felt bad for him actually from some of the shit that he said, but nowadays I understand that he is a complainer.
Oh yeah,
and
no doubt about it.
I don't know.
I
loved his wife. His wife, I was a huge fan of. I'll say that. But
that was the whole reason why my uncle didn't like him, because he was a whiner, complainer.
If the guy really did have staff and like it was so bad, and I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say WWE is pretty fucking spiteful and evil. So handing him the papers on the wedding day, I don't know if that's a coincidence or not, bro. So I can't talk on it.
Yeah, to me, he had to know he was going to go anyway. But yeah, I don't know the story behind that. But I did, I kind of believed him with some of the. But he's one of those guys though where you can hear him complaining about stuff, and after a while you tune him out, and it's like kind of like a boy called wolf situation where it's like, okay, this guy's just complaining again, even though he had legitimate issues, and the way it's just,
I don't know, man. He's always like wanted to have his cake and eat it too, in the sense that he makes issues.
Oh, yes.
And at first it wasn't that he made issues, but now in AEW we know that he fucking makes issues. Yeah. And then at the same time he's talking about like, yeah, I want to wrestle again and stuff. It's like, dude, you can't do that shit if you can't play along.
Well,
bro.
I think
you can't be.
I honestly think. I would. I think he needed to make some income.
Yeah, well, fuck
and his accountant was like, "You're fine, but you have this contract. You should probably go back and make a little money. With your with this."
And he probably will sell more merch than anyone.
Honestly, he could go and do MMA commentary or do whatever he wants. But
no, I don't know about that, bro. He was doing some indie fucking.
Weird. Oh, was it?
Like,
well, anyway.
Yeah, it was like a local MMA. I don't think he's well respected in UFC, bro.
Yeah, probably not. But what the point is that his biggest chance to make income would be as a wrestler.
Oh yeah.
Out of the things that he could do and make money, which are probably a lot, whether it's writing comic books or whatever, which he did do and all that stuff.
Did do that.
I think the most attractive thing to him was being a wrestler again.
Well, dude, also, he is a wrestler. I mean, dude, if you were a machinist your whole life and then you just stopped, and then you needed money again, what would you do, right? Like, he's a wrestler. Yeah. He's got that bug, and he loves wrestling. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And I do think
him coming back made him kind of rediscover it again.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And he was pretty much the hottest thing in AEW, and he had some incredible feuds, man. He had some of the best feuds of the year with Hangman Page and with Max.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about Punk that just I attach to is the way that everyone has a, how do I put this? A very like radiant opinion about him, right? Or a reaction. Well,
his skills on the mic and his wrestling are good.
When he came back,
his charisma is larger than life.
There are very few guys that would have that kind of reaction when everyone knew he was returning. It wasn't a surprise. Yeah. Even the stuff he did in WWE when he made returns, or when he, did that match with John Cena, the Money in the Bank one or whatever. Like, there's
2013 5 stars.
There's very few guys in wrestling that get that reaction and have that.
Yeah, I don't know of any wrestler that could just come back and get that sort of reaction right
magnetic, now. Positive and negative. There's a magnetic sense that everyone has about him. He's polarizing, right?
I think that's an awesome analogy, right? Like a magnet. there's one side of him that pulls people towards him, and there's another that pushes away.
Exactly.
And it's equally strong on both sides. And that's what
that still to this day draws me to him. Like, I want to see the people around me react to him.
Yeah, and I give you that too, man. Look, no matter our opinion of him, we can say that he is compelling.
Yes.
And I mean, so we will see what happens. There's a little weird thing though, where it's like, we're going to get all the people that made drama in AEW and put them on their own show. It's like, that's asking for disaster.
So is this show going to just be him and the people that get along with him, or how is this going to work?
I think it's going to be him,
FTR,
and Miro. It's going to be him, Miro. I think FTR will be floating back and forth.
All the malcontents.
Him, Miro,
Andrade.
And Andrade. The chick with the fucked up back. She's going to be going on there.
Is that what's her name? Who's been a headache lately too? I heard.
Jeez.
Thunder Rosa.
Sky Blue. No, I'm just kidding. Thunder Rosa. Yep, she'll be on there. But I think the rest will be floaters. I think the people you'll never see on the show is Hangman Page, the Elite. Right. Like you won't see them there. It's interesting with pay-per-views. That'll be interesting.
Eventually, all these dudes are just gonna have to like suck it up.
Yeah. They will have to get rid of. Yeah. I don't know, dude. If I was attacked by someone, I probably wouldn't talk to them anymore. But you're just gonna have to be able to walk by them in the hallway and not say a thing.
Let me kind of reduce that statement because I don't know what the hell happened.
Who started it, or I have an idea. I'll say this: the what's his name? CM Punk's trainer. What is Steel? Yeah. Ace Steel. He will not be at the show.
Yeah, that was it. I heard that was allegedly that was a
hurdle they had to jump over, but
Punk was under the impression that they were going to hire him back.
He was going to be. Well, he is hired back.
Yeah, he is, and I heard that he wasn't.
He is hired back. No, it wasn't whether he was hired back or not. It was whether he would be working remotely or show by show.
Okay.
And he is going to be working remotely.
Meaning from home?
Yeah.
So like on the phone.
Creative.
Right.
Creative stuff.
So he would just be like on Zoom when they'd have creative meetings and stuff.
This is what Vince McMahon does nowadays,
Right.
Although Ace Steel's no Vince, but anyways, he's not welcome to the arenas, which I think is kind of telling. But it's interesting. Collision. So this is this Saturday. Yeah, I'll watch. I'm going to watch it live. And is it on TNT or TBS?
I don't know.
It's on TNT, right?
I think TBS. I don't know. One of those.
Dude, I have no clue what Rampage is. Rampage on? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, we should know this because we watch every episode of AEW live on television as it happens, right?
Yes. Not anymore.
Anyways,
yeah, I mean, yes, of course.
Yeah, DVR. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Dominion because that was awesome.
Yeah. Very good show.
First thing I want to ask you about is, did you see the main event? I did not. Tell me about it.
I want to say it was a pretty short match in terms of like being a main event. I'm going to try and pull it up the Wikipedia real quick so I can have it in front of me because I watched it live. You'd be very proud of me.
I am proud of you, but I've heard that Tsuji came off as a major star.
Looked amazing.
And I saw him do dude. Was I hallucinating, or did I see a clip of Tsuji doing the fucking what's it called? Like the fucking Fosbury flop backflip over the fucking.
He did it, and the thing about him is that he looks bigger than he is because he's 6 feet, which is obviously not small.
For America, yeah, but it's New Japan.
Yeah, but when you see the guy in his stature, he's got a very long face. He looks like he's about 6'4", 6'5". And when you saw him at that press conference,
he's got a John Elway mouth, kind of.
Yeah. I mean,
but when
that smile is like so evil looking. but at the same time, it's a boyish charm that he has.
That's what I was gonna say. That's the way I see it. He looks young and handsome.
And
but I will say this guy grew up a lot over the last couple of years, man.
Absolutely.
Like, and I didn't see the match again, but I had just heard that Tsuji just came off as like people were actually wondering like should he have won the belt that night type of thing.
17 minutes, that's what it was. So
that's short for a main event.
Yeah. And Sonata was great too, but he definitely impressed. And I think Sonata's just kind of has this, he's got this kind of old school, kind of, hard-working thing. It's still a little bit on the bland side, but it's definitely better than what he was doing before.
Well, we talk about chances in wrestling and getting your opportunity and your chance. But this is a guy who, he lost Okada so much that it was kind of getting ridiculous. So I understand
the Yoda Tsuji thing, we'll see where it goes because you got him in LIJ now, and you can already feel like there's a little bit of a tension between him and Naito.
Yeah, and that's the question. Is Naito gonna step back eventually? And hopefully they turn a story into that.
We'll see.
Naito's getting older, and Tsuji is the opposite of that.
And
so
Naito's a real high mileage. I know Naito's 40, which is, obviously you're not in your prime when you're at 40, but,
most people, unless you're PCO and you're 55,
right.
But, and also the physicality,
well, the
Naito
wrestles.
Yeah. The speed and his finisher itself, rolling over the arm. And it's rough.
Been banged up for a long time. And
for a long, long time. I remember hearing years ago, he's hurt. He's really hurt.
From knees to eyes to shoulder. He's had a lot of issues.
I know, that's true. That's true. His eyes were all...
He had to have eye surgery. But I think, we were all thinking maybe Naito will get one more run. We thought he'd win the G1 last year. We thought he might be a favorite this year. We thought he would be the one to take the title off Sonata and get one more run. But who knows now?
Well, Tanahashi's done it, okay? Yeah. I mean, Tanahashi's done it in that period of his career, against Kenny Omega. He's always that ace card you have.
Yeah,
you can always...
I'll tell you about my experience watching Dominion. And I got through the first 7 matches, and I fell asleep for Hiromu and Wado, and then the 6-man tag, and I woke up for the main event.
Oh.
But I rewatched those the next day, and I was all caught up. But
what time was it? Like 3 a.m., 4 a.m.?
It came on at midnight here. So by the time it got to...
You tried, brother. I appreciate that.
By the time it got to... the main event's probably like 2:33 in the morning. Because, I'm looking at this card, and there's no match. There's only one match over 20 minutes. New Japan is really... they're doing all kinds of just intriguing stuff and different stuff right now. And
I think there's I think the TV title is changed a lot of stuff. And I think that's influenced from the high-speed title and Stardom. I think that these quicker, shorter matches, they're realizing they can get a little more bang for their buck by going straight into the finishing sequence, pretty quick. And that's why the G1 is going to have 20-minute time limits.
They're really changing their approach. And, just look at it. The first match that we saw that wasn't a dark match was Will Ospreay and Lance Archer. I love that match. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Right? 8 minutes, 1 second. Boom. Right?
It's a little more concise. It's to the point, man.
And
you're going to see a lot less staring at the crowd and hyping them up, which is great in a main event. Don't get me wrong. But you're going to see him going straight into the serious stuff right away.
And then they had the LIJ and Just 5 Guys 8-man tag, great, under 10 minutes, fantastic, right? Then you had the the junior tag match, and those are never 30-40 minute matches. They're usually pretty quickly, but 10 minutes 38 seconds. that's. And then you had a big angle come out of that, right?
which was Bullet
Dan
Club.
Maloney joining Bullet Club.
Well, there's a whole lot of stuff to talk about with that.
Sure. But I'm just saying, like, this card just flowed.
Yeah. It's Ghetto. There's been changes with management over the years, right? We know that. We know it's a new CEO who's been doing a great job and pushing past this COVID era, which, God, I don't know how he even made it through that. We used to complain every week, and New Japan slowly but surely is becoming this company that is must-watch wrestling again.
Yes, and by far the best.
The Super Juniors, man. Last year we did the Super Juniors, and I remember telling you, no one's talking about this. No one cares. This year, a lot of people talked about it for good reason too.
It was the best one in years.
It was great.
Yeah,
it was the best one since Will Ospreay and Shingo Takagi were in the tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Great tournament. Surprise ending, which we didn't talk a ton about either. But Wato is quickly becoming just this awesome talent, which. It's funny because, when we saw Kawato back in the day, we knew how good he was. But it looked like it took him some time to get into this version of himself.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. They gave him a really shitty gimmick to start. And they debuted him to silence and had Doki, who, by the way... by the way, Doki, we love Doki. Doki's great. But at the time that Doki was beating the crap out of him, Doki was low man on the totem pole.
Dude, when Doki first came out, I remember listening to certain podcasts, and they were just burying the guy like, he fucking doesn't belong in here. He's a shitty indie wrestler, and it's just hilarious listening back to that stuff.
Yeah, by the way, like, I never really thought that. It was just that was the impression that everyone had of him, like you're saying. So they brought him up, and he had a few things didn't go as smoothly for him when he first came back.
Remember, the only reason he was here was because Desperado got injured. And they needed someone to cover him.
Bottom line is,
he
wasn't ready.
Turn that into a career, by the way.
He wasn't ready, and he's finally starting. I would almost think like maybe a little bit more cooking, but he's definitely improved.
El Titan.
And Titan's great too. That was a great match, man.
Yeah. And just probably my MVP of the tournament was Mike Bailey, who I had never really gotten to see that much. And I felt like he just fit like a glove into this tournament. Mike Bailey was made for Japan.
Oh, he speaks Japanese too.
Which was so weird because is he partly Japanese? I don't
think so.
See, it's like he speaks French, English. He's from Montreal, right? So the French and the English and Spanish.
Because he was on commentary with Kevin.
Probably just smart as fuck. That's probably like what it is.
If someone told me he was half Asian, I'd say, yeah, he looks.
No, I'm pretty sure he is. I'm pretty sure about that.
They had a lot of chances where Kevin Kelly was asking him about his background. And he didn't mention it, but
maybe a kind of a private guy, married to Veda Scott, right?
Yeah.
And she did New Japan. She does New Japan commentary, right?
I don't know. I know she's done Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I think she did Resurgence commentary.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So, okay, so no, that tournament was
Mike
awesome.
Mike Bailey did a lot of traveling to Japan with like Dragon Gate or DDT, right?
He did DDT. You're right.
You forget this guy was banned from the United States for 5 years.
Well, it's really that long?
Yeah, from like 2016 to 2021 or something like that.
It's kind of crazy because like all of a sudden he came back and he's probably the top indie prospect right now. I mean, probably, and now he's not really all the way indie because he wrestles for Impact, but I mean he is he's the guy.
Where it used to 3 days because they only tape like once a month.
Yeah,
but
no, he reminds me of these indie superstars that we've seen in the past that we're just waiting for him to get a place. And I know people had said before, he looks just like a guy, but
I don't think so.
As far as Japan goes, it just 100% works.
No, and I know he did a lot when he was banned from the United States, he was doing a lot of stuff and probably going to Mexico. I know he was going to Japan and probably doing DDT or Dragon Gate.
How the fuck do you get banned from the United States? I mean, this is not Elgin we're talking about here.
I think he came...
Did he do something
he lied
wrong?
About, like, it was one of those things where, like, when he came into customs, I don't know this 100%, so don't quote me.
He probably came in without it with a expired visa, dude.
I think he came in saying that he wasn't going to work. He was just here on vacation, and then he was working for Evolve. They caught him. So I don't know. That's not the exact story. I don't want to like put
something like that.
It was something
he got in trouble. It sounds like
they were under the impression he was working. He wasn't working, and he was working, and they found out something like that. Okay. So he got banned for 5 years from the country, and
that's a weird rule. Are you making money here? No. Oh wait, I did make some money. You're banned.
Well, you need a work visa.
Anyway.
You need to get some kind of visa. But at that time, he was probably just doing like PWG and, all the indies.
And the shows we don't know about. Pro Wrestling Revolver.
Or he was just doing Evolve and all those things that weren't like, PW Super Dragon is not going to sign off on your work visa.
Have you ever heard of Pro Wrestling Revolver, by the way?
That sounds familiar.
You know who runs it? Sammy Callahan.
Oh, really?
And do you know who Sammy Callahan's one of his best friends is?
Moxley?
Yeah. So and Moxley's helps Callahan with the Revolver. So just thought I'd throw that out there. That's why you see Moxley wrestling for Revolver, because he's Callahan's buddy. So interesting side
they
note
seem like,
there. I also wanted to
have a lot in common.
We got to understand, man. Moxley was wrestling in the indies back in the day for, Dragon Gate USA and stuff. There's people he looks up to that he's way bigger than, I know Gabe Sapolsky gave him a shot and stuff,
right.
So, yeah. I also wanted to talk about the Bullet Club now, because we got a whole new Bullet Club.
Yeah,
right?
We do.
We're talking Coughlin, Connors, Maloney, and the British one.
Yeah, Dan Maloney.
No, but who's the other British guy?
Gabriel Kidd.
So pretty cool. We got this new young Bullet Club with a younger leader. Let's see where this goes. I don't think they're going to be cheating all the time like the House of Torture. Mm-hmm. So, you know what's sad about this whole thing, though, dude? There is some sadness. Do you know what it is? It is this was Frederick's spot right here, dude.
Yeah.
And this was when they were going to pull the trigger on him, dude. And if anything, he might have been the leader of the small group.
I think he would have been at least in the, what's his name? Clark Connors role. But
yeah. What does he do now? He jobs on NXT every once a month.
I just think that both of them, New Japan and him, just kind of ran out of patience with each other.
Well, the other guys did not run out of patience. And now they're getting pushes. Sure. So it's like...
I mean, he thought at the very least
loyalty
he could have been in the Kevin Knight spot right now.
Yeah. I knew the thing was like, oh, well, he's a DJ, bro, so he can, and I can't criticize someone for following their own goals. I never would. But it's just rough because, I mean, this was what we were all waiting for him, and didn't pan out. The other thing is a couple things we're going to see. We're going to see Omega versus Ospreay at Forbidden Door. So
yeah, that makes sense.
My match of the year probably this year, and we're going to see the sequel. You looking forward to that?
Yeah, and I honestly think we're going to see another one at Wembley. We're going to see the rubber match.
You think Omega's going to win again, or what?
I think they're gonna. This is what I think is going to happen. I think
the rubber match is going to be at Wembley.
Ospreay's going to win, and they're going to be able to get that title back, and you're going to have a little involvement from Takeshita and Don Callis.
Okay.
I don't know if they'll.
I could see that.
I don't know if we'll have a run-in that will help Ospreay win, or if they'll just get beat down afterwards. But I think there's going to be some involvement to get the title off of Kenny Omega, and let Ospreay take that back to Japan.
And Ospreay's already stated he will not move to America.
Good, please don't, man.
So, look, dude, we live here. There's a lot of money in America. Can we at least admit that? There's a lot of money here.
I
mean, for you and me, even, I'm poor, and I still have a lot of money compared to... So, that's the one good thing. That's probably the one and only good thing, dude.
Well, I mean, where he is residing now, which is Japan and, the UK aren't exactly poor, but,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're totally right. There's money there, too. Each to his own. We've... I don't want to bring up too many names, but we know, and I know, a lot of foreign wrestlers who do not want to live in America. I'll just put it that way.
I got a question for you, though, just random. We're talking about Forbidden Door. I heard, is it really going to be Jericho and Sonata?
Who said that?
I thought that was maybe just I just saw some fake thing.
I never heard that, dude.
What would be wrong with... I know MJF wants no involvement in this show, right?
Well, yeah, but he's going to.
How?
He'll wrestle Sonata. I don't know.
I was listening to We Watch Wrestling podcast.
I don't see anything.
They were thinking who would be who should MJF wrestle, and it was actually kind of perfect. And
Khan.
They were saying Suzuki.
That'd be pretty awesome, but Suzuki don't wrestle as well.
He's like, I'm not going to invite.
Okay, that'd be pretty great.
Guys, and then Suzuki.
You got to say, who could he beat? Who could he beat Suzuki. Realistically? He could beat Suzuki.
He could beat Ishii. Yeah. He could beat Suzuki.
Ishii, I don't know about all that because he's not that style of brawler. But Suzuki would be fun. A lot of psychology.
I think Suzuki would be really fun.
I'll say if the AEW champion doesn't wrestle at fucking Forbidden Door, that'd be an embarrassment.
Yeah, I think that's really bad. I think he's got I like the idea of MJF, ended up beating Suzuki, but feeling really uncomfortable along the way, and maybe a few weeks, leading up to it, he's a little scared of it, a guy like that. But then I don't see MJF sitting there and taking a forearm exchange.
Yeah, that's going to be Tony Khan's got to pull a good one because it's got to be a big draw, right? Like with him. Although we got 2 matches already that I will go pay to watch if I could, and that's what I want to.
Would be a good in-ring match. There just wouldn't be a lot of heat to it.
I don't think Sonata's too over in America.
No, he's not. But I'm just saying, from our standpoint, it would be a good match.
Be fun. It'd be fun. How about MJF versus Hiromu?
That would be fun, but I don't think they'd put him in there with I would think Tanahashi would be really good.
I think Tanahashi's hurt right now, really bad.
Tanahashi's always hurt, man.
No, I think it's like really bad right now because in that trios match he didn't really do anything.
Oh.
So
okay,
yeah.
Well,
we'll see.
Tana
see.
I mean, even matchup though.
It would be good. Shit, we've seen him make stuff work even when he was close to death.
I just want to see
that ladder match with Kenta. I mean, come on, dude.
Because I think MJF is a really good wrestler. He really is.
He is, and actually, that's one of the things people don't give him enough credit for. Is he's actually a great wrestler.
No, and I know they've given him.
It's just he only wrestles once every 3 months, dude.
Perfect for the Western style. Shows and all that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess if you want the Roman Reigns thing, right? But a lot of fans like the guy who the Orange Cassidy, right? Guy has fucking had 25 title defenses, and all of the matches have been good. The
reason why I give it an excuse with a guy like MJF is because he makes it part of his gimmick.
Yeah, just like Roman Reigns. Just like Roman Reigns.
I think that's fine. This isn't 350 days a year and twice on Sundays.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's why he hates.
It's not that way anymore. It probably never should have been. I mean, dude, football players play once a week.
Well, they practice hard during the week, but yeah, right.
But I'm just saying, these guys go like wrestling can be even more hard on your body than football.
Think about like a boxer or an MMA fighter. They fight
twice a year at most. Once a year,
right?
Yeah. It's wrestling is crazy in that way. But okay, so we had that young talent push. But the big thing here is the desert, because the rain does not rain in the desert, according to Bryan Danielson.
Oh, that's excellent. But hey, can I just wrap up? We kind of went off it a little bit because I went on this MJ tangent. But what do you think of this new Bullet Club?
Yeah. Go
overall,
ahead.
This new Bullet Club, the presentation now.
It's rough, bro, because Bullet Club is so old that it's almost out of style. I have to wait and see. I can't say, because it's like, what are they going to do? What stories are they going to be a part of? Are they going to kick ass in the G1?
Well, there's two reasons why I really, really like it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
The first reason is they're putting all these LA Dojo guys to use. We talked about how they have all this, young talent that they're just letting be in this LA Dojo /strong, and they're giving them a prominent role in a one of the most infamous factions in pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
So that's number one.
Yeah.
And number two, I really feel like what they're constructing right now is what Bullet Club was meant to be, which is a bunch of angry, pissed off foreigners.
I could see that. We're going back to the old style. I mean, none of them are at the level of Devitt was at the time. No,
but that's what I like, is they're taking
the novelty
a chance on
has worn off.
They're doing it all over the card. Yoda Tsuji, Master Wato, Sonata. There's just all kinds of crazy stuff going on.
Dude, this is one of the best parts of New Japan right now, is that since I've started watching, and I just posted this on Twitter, this is the biggest push of young stars they've ever done.
Right.
And it's pretty awesome, because these guys are good too.
And you have that dead period in between, basically in between Dominion and the G1. And right now, I want to watch everything they do.
Oh yeah, no, I'm really compelled by it. I think I'm fascinated, and I really want to see what some of these guys. We know that this is their first year; they're going to get beat a lot. But I'm really interested to see some of these guys in the G1, and I'm interested if some of these guys are going to be considered heavyweights too. I'm not sure. Like Coughlin, he's in the G1.
So is Gabriel
Pretty
Kidd.
interesting.
I mean, they're
so is
the
Gabriel
next challengers for the tag team titles of Bishamon.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're putting them right there, and not only are they introducing him as that, they're putting him right at the top of the card. Yoda Tsuji, I don't know, even like Okada, when he came back and did the Rainmaker Shock, he was in the Road Tour and all that leading up to that show. But Yoda Tsuji did nothing.
And that's the closest. Well, it reminds me of Okada back then, when you just came out and started kicking ass, and we'll see, man. It's very interesting. There, I have this written here: young talent push. So it's going to be awesome. As I said before, Danielson and Okada, that is a legendary dream match. That it's just bound to be great, unless there's some horrific accident.
Yeah, well, just keep Daniel Bryan and Baron Danielson in a bubble until then, because we were supposed to get
that's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Year, so.
Yeah, he's had a few injuries over the years. Yeah. And one more thing I want to add here is that we're getting Desperado and Jun Kasai versus Homicide and Moxley.
Is that at Forbidden Door?
So, no, this is going to be at a New Japan show, I believe, in Japan.
Oh.
It's going to be the New Japan Strong show in Japan.
Oh, right, that July 4th, 5th one?
Which is pretty cool that they're doing that. Hopefully Willow gets out there. And, so this is going to be a bloody fucking death match. Desperado and Jun Kasai. The Jun Kasai, a deathmatch legend.
Sure.
Desperado, we know, is kind of like Moxley. He really likes getting super dirty and bloody.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and then we got Homicide, who we know, we've talked about him. He is from TNA. And, right? Didn't
Mostly. We
look
broke
him
him down one episode, yeah.
Yeah. And so that match should be pretty crazy. Not a huge fan of the deathmatch stuff. I know you aren't either, but hey, Anarch in the Arena was fucking awesome. And, Jim Cornette can go fucking eat a dick. So, yeah. That's pretty much all I got to say, brother.
Yeah. And, the Desperado Jun Kasai death match just had a lot of just amazing storytelling elements to it that made it not just your, what do they call it? What does Cornette call it?
Well, it's just not your average.
No, what does he call those? Just like indies. There's a mud
shindy,
mud show or whatever.
Oh, mud show,
like
your indie mud show wrestling.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck him. Sorry, man. I've been hate listening to him this last few weeks, and it's been just. I love how like any wrestler he has respect for or likes. He's always like, well, this guy didn't want to be in this match, and you can tell he hated being in this match, and it's like he's trying to say about Danielson, oh, he was embarrassed to be in that. It's like, shut the fuck up.
And he really loves CM Punk, too.
Why do you still fucking review AEW if you hate it so much, dude? It's because that's what everyone listens to.
It's a gimmick. I like, when I used to listen to his podcast, I used to like listening to his old stories. Like, what is that one called?
Those are great.
Road, I can't remember, Road Diary, or whatever he called it. The drive-through.
Dude, if he talks about the history or if he talks about dead wrestlers, those are amazing. Like, I've teared up listening to those.
Yeah, some of those old, like, where he talks about, oh, this one time that me and, the Midnight Express were driving and that's good stuff.
And then this person puked and,
right, exactly. Yeah.
And he knows everything about that stuff, but God, dude. I listened to his review of Omega versus Ospreay, and he was pissed because he said that they had too good of a match for being in the semi-main, and then he shit all over the match.
I don't listen to that stuff because I know tries really hard. Just say you liked it. It's okay. No one will kill you. But he's a gimmick. That's where he makes his money. So.
There's someone I respected for a really, really long time, and then, this happened. So, It's sad. It's sad. It's like losing a friend, brother. It's like losing a friend. Anything else you wanted to say, Justin? Or are you ready to go on
Probably
home?
Ready to patch it up here and take a nap.
Do the job? All right, man. I think I'll be doing the same thing fairly soon. AEW video game comes out when, Justin?
Is it the 30th, 29th, something like that of June?
If we get that and there's crossplay, we'll do some streaming.
Sounds good, yeah.
So.
And it looks pretty fun from what I've seen online, so it's...
I kind of already know who I want to play as.
You want to do the skateboarding Darby Allin?
I was thinking of...
Willow Nightingale?
Brody Lee.
Brody Lee would be fun, yeah.
Brody Lee versus Owen Hart?
Oh, yeah. Owen Hart's sounds like fun.
That could work. So, but in all honesty, we'll both be probably playing our freaky-looking creator wrestlers against each other.
Or we'll just be going on to see what other people have made. So we can get all of it.
I don't know if it's going to have all that, Justin. That's not been announced. This is not Fire Wrestling Pro, brother.
Well, eventually I think you'll be able to download other people's creations.
Upload.
I mean, you can do that in the 2K games. Why wouldn't they have that here?
You could do that in the older 2K games?
Any of them, yeah.
Like 2K12, 2K11?
Yeah, I think you can go online.
Well, it's the same company that made those games. Yeah. So, I hope so. Batman versus fucking Al Bundy, right?
Sure. Well, I'm thinking more of just getting all the WWE and New Japan wrestlers on the game.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. So there's going to be... I will say this. The 2K games are going to have probably 20 times more moves.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a Beaumaye.
But is the idea with this game that they're not going to make sequels? They're just going to keep updating it?
No idea. There's been no announcement about that.
Or maybe that was another game.
The game cost millions and millions of dollars to make. So, they're in a money hole as far as that goes, so it better sell.
Right.
I hope it's good. I hope it's good because I want it to sell.
Sure you do.
I'm worried, man. The animation does not look good.
To me, if it plays like No Mercy, we're good.
If it plays good, it's good.
I think it will.
But
as long as it's taken, it
I just got Street Fighter 6, and now that is a great wrestling game. And fighting.
So what makes that different from a regular fighting game?
Oh, they added so much cool shit. They added so much fun stuff. And you can play as... There's a couple pro wrestlers in it. Also, I got Diablo 4, and I can't stop playing it. And I'm going to start playing it when we get off of here, which is immediately.
Okay.
So, everyone, at In-Ring Art, at John Ensman, we are at Wrestling and Pod. Thanks for listening, guys. Aaron Henare, you're the man. And Justin, you have a great evening, my friend.
You as well. Good night, everybody.
Good night, and we will see you guys later.